How often have you moved in life? Were some of those moves easier or harder than others? What were you leaving behind? What were you moving toward? The first move I can really remember is when I was 9 years old and we were leaving Lubbock, Texas to move to Valencia, California. And I had friends in Lubbock, and I was in fourth grade, and I was excited about school and all these things. And when Dad came home and said, well, kids, I got a new job in California, and it's going to make us move. How do you feel about that? And I'm thinking, oh, my friends and everything I'm leaving behind. And then Dad, he pulled the ace out of his sleeve. Or in this case, the pamphlet about Magic Mountain, which was going to be in my new hometown. And he said, what do you think? We could get season tickets and these roller coasters, and this is where we're going to live. And I'm like, see you, friends, I'm sold. And I was so excited about moving to this new place. Leaving Valencia to go to college was harder. Leaving home to go on my mission was harder. Leaving my mission to come back home was harder still. And then the various places that we have lived as a family, leaving our time in Provo, leaving our time in Salt Lake, leaving our time in Tennessee, those were hard. And that was hard even knowing, I'm sure we'll see these old friends again, and we can keep in touch. Imagine the early saints leaving Nauvoo, knowing they'll never see it again. And actually, theologically, it's not just that they were leaving Nauvoo, it's that they were passing, north. We're not going to go through Missouri again. We're going to go through Iowa this time. But leaving Missouri in a way that felt far more permanent than when they left Missouri to go east to Illinois. This time it's leaving Missouri entirely because we're leaving Illinois and Missouri and Ohio and New York and every place we've ever been throughout our history of the church that's in the United States. We're heading off into Mexican territory. We're going to go off into Native American territory. We're going to find some place that nobody wants so that nobody will kick us out. But what have they left behind? Theologically, Zion is now clearly in their rearview mirror. And there's no real sense of when or whether they'll ever go back. That's the pin in the map. That's the center place. That's the New Jerusalem we were supposed to build and didn't. So imagine that weight on you as you're crossing the plains, getting further and further and further away from Jackson County, Missouri, and your rendezvous with the second coming that you had hoped to usher in. If that's weighing on them, read verse 16 through 18 of section 136. And let my servants that have been appointed go and teach this, my will, to the saints, that they may be ready to go to a land of peace. Go thy way and do as I have told you, and fear not thine enemies, for they shall not have power to stop my work. Wait, really? They seem to be stopping it everywhere we go. Oh, that's only from your perspective, not from the divine one. Then this great promise, Zion shall be redeemed in mine own due time. Honestly, I think that sentence might have been the favorite phrase in the entire Revelation for those early saints. Zion shall be redeemed. You'll get back to Jackson County. Remember section 124, that reassurance? I accept your efforts. You tried. You were opposed by your enemies. You were driven out of the state. You made some mistakes, yes. Lord, is it I? Yes, it is I. You did some things. But you were facing so much opposition, so much persecution. I'm not going to hold you responsible for not accomplishing what seemed impossible at the time. But I haven't lost sight of Zion. I'm still holding the New Jerusalem in my hand, ready to send Zion from above as soon as you have been able to build Zion from below. So look westward and head off to the Great Salt Lake. And don't worry about the New Jerusalem in your rearview mirror. It will be redeemed in my own due time. Of course, that being said, If you're ever going to build Zion, you'll have to become Zion. Just like we saw in so many revelations during the Missouri period and beyond. So remember that as I'm reminding you in section 136. Look at verse 19. If any man shall seek to build up himself, and seeketh not my counsel, he shall have no power, and his folly shall be made manifest. Now, why do I include that in this little portion of the lesson? The Lord's pretty clear with some strong counsel to the camp of Israel. Because pioneer companies, again, there's so many examples of every man for himself and dog-eat-dog world, and especially when things get hard, and you're crossing plains, and you're crossing frozen rivers, and you're sick, and you're tired, and you're starving. Ask the Donner Party. It's easy to lose your humanity in times of extremity. And the Lord is saying, here's two things to think about. You better not build up yourself. There's the individualism. There's the horizontal independence that will ruin things. You won't love your neighbor. And then the other one, if you're not seeking my counsel, there's the vertical connection to God. If you cut off the horizontal connection to others because I'm trying to build up myself, if you cut the vertical connection to God because I'm not seeking his counsel, I'm neither loving God nor loving my neighbor. There's no cross. It's just me. And that's no camp of Israel. That's no Zion, which is one heart, one mind, dwelling together in righteousness, no poor among you. You're taking care of each other. Now do you understand what God is trying to do with the Mormon pioneer exodus? You're leaving the wicked world behind, fine, but are you leaving the wickedness within? That's what I'm more concerned about. You're worried about not being able to build Zion. Well, I'm more worried about you not being able to become Zion. And as we've said repeatedly, Zion has to become your personality before it becomes your place. It has to become your lifestyle before it becomes your location, your attitude before your address. And so please, Camp of Israel, become true Israel. As a new Zion's camp, be Zion. And if you can pull that off across the plains, then someday you'll be able to return to build a new Jerusalem, because you've been building new Jerusalems all along the way. You're ready to build Zion because you've been Zion. And that's what God is hoping for.